What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zetro's Toxic Vault. And as the carousel of all that made the Bay Area music great, I have yet another guest with me today. Yes, another one from Legacy. That's right. I called him Rottweiler, but his name is Mike Ronchette. What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
How you doing, man?
All right.
Good to have you here.
Glad to be here, man.
It's like we're kind of telling not really telling the story, but I'm bringing a lot of the musicians that were around at that time in the 80s, when we were building this thing called thrash metal in the Bay Area.
That was the time.
And I'm bringing a lot of them in, and you were definitely a piece of it, man.
Yeah, it was
definitely
great.
a piece, and we'll get to that. But Mikey, what did you listen to growing up? Because you're about our age, so did your parents listen to?
No, my parents mostly. My mom listened to a lot of Beatles, Elvis. My dad was into the oldies, Buddy Holly.
I do hear that a lot, though.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that we interview, they
Buddy
say
Holly
that they.
And Little Richard and stuff like that.
What's your first remembrance of music like that you can remember? It was
Elvis Presley. Yeah, my mom used to blast it on one of those big console stereos, with the vinyl, and just blast it. I remember. Yeah, and then he used to go to see Elvis a lot too, And was it Tahoe or something like that?
Right, right. Yeah, he would do that circuit, of course.
That. She loved him.
In the early 70s, and that was a big,
awesome,
big thing. So did that get you into music? I mean, were you? Was the driving force? I mean, what were you as a kid? Did you like horror movies? I always ask this among.
I love it. I love horror.
I mean, obviously, creature features, right?
Big time. Night Gallery.
Sure, Night Gallery. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah,
I love that. Yeah.
So anything like did that contribute to playing darker type of music? I always say that it did for me.
Pretty much. Yeah.
For me, playing metal, it's because I liked horror, and it was the darker side. It was the monsters of rock.
Much, my wardrobe changed all pretty much black and everything. Kind of dark. My mom used to hate that, but everything was black, and just I think that changed me.
What year? How old were you, and what year was that when you picked up the drums? When you started playing?
Well, I got my first drum when I was 2 years old.
So you've been playing since.
Well, yeah, I've been banging them since.
And who? But did your parents buy you the drums?
No, actually, I got a paper route.
At 2?
No. They had a drum. There's a toy drum back in the day. Yeah, a toy drum. But after that, then it was the toy drum sets. I always have a little drum set, some kind of toy drum set. But then when I was old enough to get a paper route, then I earned the money and bought my set. Then.
You bought your set. So were you playing any kind of drums up to that point?
Yeah, I was. Actually, there was a friend of ours who showed me a few things. He was a drummer, and we did a couple of these talent shows as a double drum solo kind of thing going on.
And how old were you at this time?
I was probably about 10.
So you're in 4th grade, 5th grade, something like that?
Yeah, going up in front of big audiences and doing
Sure, your whole classmates and stuff.
Yeah,
that's very intimidating.
Yeah, it was.
And you grew up in Alameda, right?
No, actually, I grew up in San Lorenzo.
In San Lorenzo?
Yeah, but I hung out in Alameda.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You did grow up in San Lorenzo.
Yeah, so I'd be out in Alameda a lot. That's where, I joined my first band. So.
And how old were you at that time?
Just turned 15.
Just turned 15.
Yeah. I joined Black Angel. Yeah.
Black Angel.
Yeah.
And those guys were all Alameda guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they were all Alameda guys, yeah.
How did you meet them?
I met them actually through an ad. They had an ad in a paper.
In what? What publication?
I think it was like the Daily Review or something like that, newspaper.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Something like that, and they were looking for a drummer. And I called up and talked to the guitarist Brian Roundtree, and said, "Yeah, I'll come out and check you out." And I had my dad, because I didn't have a vehicle, I didn't have a license then, and he loaded up my drums and dropped me off at their garage. And he's like, "You sure you want to do this?" So, bye, And so that was that. And
were they supportive of it?
Oh, very supportive.
I mean, I know your mom, she's a doll, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
she was a doll.
Yeah, she was awesome.
She was great.
So supportive. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, nothing but support. And just, my dad tolerated it, but, he definitely supported me too. So.
But he tolerated it.
Yeah, he tolerated it. The music, he didn't care so much for the music, but yeah, he put up with it, and
I think that's all of our cases. I
Yeah.
think when everybody is looking at that sort of thing, it's like, your mentality is, well, I'm going to go out there and hit it and I'm going to be a rock star. And your parents are looking at you going,
yeah,
yeah,
something to fall
sure you
back
are,
on.
pal.
Yeah.
You better be able to do something.
Yeah.
So you're 15
Yeah.
and you're joining Black Angel.
yeah.
Right, and you spent maybe, what, a year and a year and a half till
About
we
a
pulled
year.
you away?
Yeah, till you pulled me
Because
away.
we had to pull you away,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, it was about a year, and we recorded this little demo in Oakland. Freeway recorded.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
Freeway.
we did a little demo there. It was pretty cool. And
That was, I remember that. And then for anybody who didn't know, I mean, basically, Legacy at that time was Derek, Eric, Louie, myself, and Greggy. And it seemed like right after, Derek left, or no, right after Derek left,
yeah,
Louie wasn't long after that
Yeah.
either.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because you played when Derek was still in the band, right?
no, I didn't.
Oh, that's right. Only Alex, huh?
Yeah.
Only Alex.
Yeah.
Only Alex. And then Louis, I think his girlfriend got pregnant.
That's right,
Anna got
yeah.
pregnant.
Yeah.
And he decided that, he wanted to, concentrate on that.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of metal drummers. There was no thrash metal drummers. And it's funny that we had to coerce you into doing
Yeah.
this. It's like, we're like, no, tell him we're going to be major. Tell him. I was all over Eric about that. And it seems like it worked out. It worked
Yeah.
out for a while because you were in the band for 2.5 years, almost 3 years, I think.
Well, for Legacy.
Legacy, yeah.
Maybe almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
God, we seem like so much time
I know,
longer
I
than
know,
that.
yeah.
But, you were on the demo.
Yeah.
The famed demo
Yeah.
that you heard of the drummers. That's
Yeah.
Mr. It wasn't Louis, which Louis came back into the
came
band
back after, yeah.
after that. But you were the guy of that famous demo that was done.
Oh man, that demo was great. I mean, it took off. Huh?
I remember you were still in high school.
Yeah.
Is that weird? I mean, he was like, you had to do your homework and
I
come
did,
to
yeah.
Legacy practice because it was that much.
I used to have to ride my bike to.
It was so important then, yeah. And then we tried to rent that San Lorenzo theater. Remember that
That's
one time we
right,
went and
yeah.
talked to that guy?
Yeah.
It was a little expensive for us.
That thing is still not doing anything with that theater. It's still,
Really?
Yeah, it's still.
I should show old horror movies there.
No
It's one
shit.
of those
They
places.
used to do Rocky Horror there a long time ago.
I love that. I loved going to that. So I wanted to tell this story about when we did the demo. Because remember when we went up to Prairie Sun and we did the demo?
was awesome.
And it was a thing like, most bands at this time did like in their basement or in their little rehearsal studios, 8 or 16 track demos.
Yeah.
We actually went to a place that were making records there,
Yeah, exactly.
So we get up there and it's basically, I think it was 4 days, right? 3 days.
Yeah.
And we played. There was somebody in the recording studio constantly. There was
Yeah.
never,
Yeah, we stayed out there, right?
We
We
stayed
stayed-
out
yeah.
there. And I remember this, and Craigy's gonna cry when I tell this one. I don't know if you remember. I think it was me, you, and Alex. And Greg used to Greg has like these big moles like everywhere, and they're like, and I used to always go. I used to make just fuck with him and go. I'm gonna cut these fucking moles off you, Greg. No, Zet. And it was just the way I went. I
remember
was
that.
just such a ruthless asshole back
Remember
then.
that, yeah.
And so, Greggy was done with his track, and he was sleeping. And I think it was me, you, and Alex got these knives, and we kicked. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do.
We kicked the door open, and and the first thing I said, "What's up, Greggy? Give me those moles!" And all of us are wielding fucking knives, and he's all, no, Zed, no, like he took me seriously, and we all started laughing because I would have never hurted him. I would have never done anything
that was
to
so
him
funny,
like
yeah.
that. But it was just the mentality of us back in the day.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was a great time. Have you you haven't played much music since then, have you?
Well, after I left the band, I put together a band called Numbskull.
That's right.
Yeah, and we actually built a studio out in Castro Valley, and it was like a little warehouse, and built 6 rooms in it, rented those out, and we practiced in the front for free, and that worked out pretty good.
Yeah, because you play with Joe.
Yeah, I played with Joe. Yeah,
I love Joe.
Yeah, Joe's a cool dude.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we were down there for a while, and actually Phil's project Torque was there too for a while. Yeah, they were down there.
Not much going on in the 90s, though.
No.
It was kind of, I mean, I didn't really delve into too much musically.
Yeah.
My kids were little at that time,
Yeah.
so I was being soccer and baseball coach.
Yeah.
That's why I'd see your sister. She was coaching. She
That's
coached
right.
my daughter on a
Yeah.
couple of things. That's where I saw your mom.
Yeah, soccer's big in the family.
Exactly. Soccer was big in your family, so.
Yeah. Big time.
And so I still seen it, but I kind of went out. But then as 2000s kind of came around, we started doing it again. Are you playing it all right now, man?
No. I practice. I got a rolling electronic kit at home I mess around with. I'm always messing around, doing something. And so, yeah, but I really would like to get back into it again,
So much room for it now, and all the people want it, you know what I mean? And people want the old guys and the old players and stuff. And your son plays now too,
My son
right?
plays. He's a great drummer. Yeah.
So he's the next generation
he is.
of Ronchette and
That's right. He's going to carry the torch, man, so see what happens there. But, yeah, I think I'm going to buy me a acoustic kit soon and get back into it.
Everybody our age is just,
I got to find myself
that's
again.
what you do.
It's my identity, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I know maybe you can call Derek again. I heard he's
Yeah.
around these days.
Yeah.
And Derek,
sure.
you never know. We can respark. People would love that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, and I'll give you an example. Michael Denner and Hank Sherman do a project that's just called Denner and Sherman.
Oh, really?
But if anybody knows, they were the guitar players in Merciful Fate.
Merciful Fate, yeah.
So there's always those people that are very curious about this sort of thing that we did.
Yeah.
And if, I know what Derek writes. So, I mean, that'd be a good thing. I don't want to say I'm putting it together or anything right now, but
that's
you never know. And if I have
definitely an
time on
idea.
my hands, since my guitar player's been kind of busy this last year,
Yeah.
finishing off his final tour, I would have had time to sing on it and stuff like that. So maybe that's an avenue we can go
Possibly.
down. You never know. So
that'd be awesome.
So you guys leave me comments on Mr. Mike Ronchette. Tell me what you remember if you went to Ruthie's and seen us hang out, because that's probably mostly where we played.
Yeah.
We played pretty much everywhere. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Watch this on TV because it looks much better when you watch it in your own living room. And so I can have you on back for some other shit when we get another, because there's going to be a ton of different themes that I want to get to and do episodes on, and you were a
Always,
part
man.
of.
Yeah, no problem.
Right on, brother.
Yeah.
Good to have you in.
Thank you.
You guys, I'll see you soon in the vault.